Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ainus Dalili Hawa, from English Literature of Binasarana Informatika University. My class is 33-8AA07 with student number 33230094. I'm here to present my social linguistic project for my middle exam. In here, I will discuss or present about the two topics in general, diagnosia and dialect. First, what is diagnosia? Diagnosia comes from the Greek diglossos, meaning bilingual or to speak two language. The term was first used in English in 1959 by linguist Charles Ferguson. Diglossia is a linguistic term used to describe a situation where two or more language or language varieties are used in a complementary way within a community. One of the language is considered a high or formal variety used in education, religion, literature, and formal occasion, while the other is a low or informal variety used in daily conversation and less prestigious domains. Apa itu diglosia? Diglosia berasal dari kata Yunani diglosos yang artinya bilingual atau dapat berbicara dalam dua bahasa. Kata ini pertama kali digunakan dalam bahasa Inggris pada tahun 1959 oleh linguistik Charles Ferguson. Diglosia adalah kata dalam bahasa linguistik untuk mendeskripsikan suatu situasi di mana dua atau bahasa atau variabel bahasa lain yang biasa digunakan dalam satu komunitas. Satu bahasa yang biasanya digunakan adalah high or formal variety. High atau formal variety ini adalah bahasa baku yang biasanya digunakan dalam pendidikan, agama, literasi, dan acara-acara penting atau formal yang membutuhkan bahasa baku. Low or informal variety itu adalah bahasa tidak baku yang digunakan dalam percakapan sehari-hari dan tidak membutuhkan bahasa yang baku. History of diglossia. Although the French term diglossia was introduced by the Arabist William Marquez in 1930, it is the late Charles A. Ferguson who is the most often credited as the first to introduce the notion of high and low variety of a language in a classic article in the journal World with the now famous one-word title, Diglossia. The gist of his widely influential essay was to demonstrate the idea of high and low registers, best explained in the purposive linguistic distinction observable in a few speech communities concerning the strict complementary distribution of formal with informal usage. For Ferguson, we calculate the term from the French. There were only four defining languages that he considered representative: Arabic, Swiss German, Celtic Roll, and Modern Greek. Sejarah diglossia. Walaupun kata pertamanya berasal dari bahasa Prancis, diglossia, sebenarnya yang mempunyai kredit yang paling banyak itu adalah almarhum Charles Ferguson daripada William Marquez. Charles Ferguson yang menerbitkan jurnal jurnalnya yang paling terkenal dengan satu judul yang yaitu Diglossia. Dia mendemonstrasikan esainya itu yang memiliki ide high and low variety ini bisa dijelaskan atau didemonstrasikan dalam pembahasan linguistik yang bisa kita observasikan di dalam komunitas yang biasanya mendistribusikan formal dan informal usage. Untuk Ferguson sendiri yang menemukan kata ini dari bahasa Prancis, ia hanya mengakui 4 bahasa sebagai perwakilannya: bahasa Arab, bahasa Swiss German, Haitian Creole, dan bahasa Yunani modern. Type of diglossia. High variety, it means formal settings. High variety refers to the language variety used in formal or professional settings, such as in education, politics, and the mass media. Is formal settings or professional. An example in education, a teacher and student discussing in class. The second is politics. A queen or a king or even a president in a diplomat meetings. And the last is mass media, where a reporter shares finding or their finding about news today or incident in the TV. Low variety or informal settings. Low variety is used in everyday conversation and is spoken in more informal settings such as at home, with family or friends. An example of low variety is when you speak with your parents, your sisters, your brother, or even your uncle or aunt. Another example is when you speak to a friend around your age. And in supermarket, when a seller and buyer discuss about the price of the item. And lastly, a doctor and a patient, they use informal language, which does not need formal language. Low variety adalah yang digunakan dalam bahasa percakapan sehari-hari dan biasanya menggunakan bahasa yang tidak baku. Seperti contohnya di dalam rumah, di antara keluarga, kakak, adik, orang tua, atau di saat bersama teman-teman sebaya, atau di supermarket di mana penjual dan pembeli yang mendiskusikan harga dari barang yang akan dibeli, atau di rumah sakit di mana dokter dan pasien itu membicarakan atau mendiagnosa penyakit yang dimiliki pasien. Bilingual diglossia occurs when one language variety is used for writing and the other one is used for speaking. Bilingual diglossia terjadi di saat satu bahasa digunakan untuk menulis ataupun berbicara. Different features of diglossia. With diglossia, there are 9 features presented by Ferguson. They are function. One of the important features of diglossia is a matter of function. In diglossia society, there are 2 variations in one language. These variations are called high variety and low variety. There are 5 countries that use 2 varieties in one language. Second, prestige. In Diocletian society, there are subjective assumptions stating that the High Gaelic is more prestigious, superior, and more respected, while the Low dialect is considered inferior and sometimes its existence is even rejected by some people. This can be seen in most educated Arabians and Haitians who suggest that low origin does not need to be used even though they use it in daily conversation. Meanwhile, in Indonesia, it can be seen from the phenomenon that the standard Indonesian variety is most considered prestigious and non-standard Indonesian. Next, literary heritage. Folk literature and poetry use low variety, although many society members assume that only literature and poems with high quality were sovereignty. Acquisition. In terms of acquisition, both high and low varieties can be traced as follows. The high variety can be acquired by studying in formal education, while the low variety can be obtained by socializing with family, friends, and etc. In its application, the high variety is not always used and it is always controlled by grammar rules and principles when it is learned. Meanwhile, the low variety is used regularly and continuously in daily conversation or interaction. Next, standardization. As the variety that is considered prestigious, the high variety is usually standardized through formal codification. It can take the form of dictionaries, grammar, pronunciation books, and rule books for using correct and proper language. Meanwhile, the low variety is rarely noticed. If there's any codification, it usually made by researchers from other speech communities in different language. Next, stability. In diglossia communities, the existence of language varieties has been maintained for a significant amount of time. This leads to stable high and low varieties. With the development of language, the low variety borrowing lexical elements from the high variety is common, but using the low varieties lexical elements in high variety is less common because the variety is usually used when forged. Next, grammar. According to Ferguson, similar forms spread high and low varieties in diglossia. Although there are grammatical differences, choose samples of this grammar will be German and French. First, standard German has 4 noun cases and 2 indicative simple tenses, while Swiss German has 3 noun cases and 1 indicative simple tense. Second, French nouns indicate agreement in a number and type or gender, while Creole Haitian nouns do not. Lexicon. In terms of vocabulary, most of high and low varieties are the same. However, there are high variety verbs that do not have verbs in low variety or vice versa. Phonology. In phonology, the sound system of high and low varieties are single, but the phonology of high variety is a basic system, while the low variety is a subsystem. The high varieties phonology close to the general form underlying it in a language as a whole. The low variety phonology is parted from the basic forms. Next is the second topic of my presentation about dialect. So, What is dialect? Dialect is a variety of language that signals where a person comes from. The notion is usually interpreted geographically or called regional dialect, but it also has some application to a person's social background or class dialect or occupational dialect. The word dialect comes from the ancient Greek dialectos, which derived from dialect style to discord talk. Apa itu dialek? Dialek adalah bahasa yang menandakan seseorang berasal dari mana. Biasanya ini diinterpretasikan menurut daerah dari mana seseorang itu berasal. Seperti latar belakang seseorang, dari suku mana dia berasal, ataupun kasta yang ia miliki. Atau bisa juga dari pekerjaan apa yang dia miliki, yang disebut dengan dialek pekerjaan. Kata dialek ini berasal dari bahasa Yunani kuno yang dialektos, yang juga berasal dari dialek gestai, yang artinya bahasa atau berbicara. Next, what about history of dialect? In history of dialect, developed because of location and time. When a group that speaks a certain language is divided and spread out over different areas, nation, and words that its people use may vary from one another. This causes different dialects. An example of this is British English compared to an American English. In a historical sense, the term dialect is sometimes applied to a language considered as one of group deriving from a common ancestor. Thus, English, Swedish, and German are sometimes referred as Germanic dialects. Sejarah dialek ini berkembang karena lokasi dan juga waktu. Di saat suatu grup atau suku dari suatu bahasa mulai berpencar dan menetap atau tinggal di suatu area yang berbeda dari yang sebelumnya, maka aksen dan bahasa yang mereka miliki terdahulu mungkin akan berbeda dari daerah yang sebelumnya. Ini mungkin yang mengakibatkan perbedaan dialek. Seperti contohnya bahasa Inggris dari England ya, dan juga bahasa Amerika, bahasa Inggrisnya Amerika. Dari kedua ini bisa dilihat perbedaannya yang sangat jauh, namun sama. Satu contohnya lagi, bahasa Indonesia dan juga bahasa Malaysia yang merupakan masih dalam satu rumpun Melayu. Di sejarahnya ini, kata dialek ini terkadang diaplikasikan kepada bahasa dari satu grup yang sama, yang memiliki nenek moyang yang sama. Maka itulah bahasa Inggris, bahasa Swedia, dan bahasa Jerman biasanya disebut dengan dialek Germanik. Next, types of dialect. Regional dialect are the most common and distinguishable dialects. Differ amongst people who live close together and usually develop over time due to linguistic change. Common causes for linguistic change include communication with others outside their community, and also the change in environment, the introduction of a new language, goods and culture, etc. Some of well-known regional dialects in the UK include Received Pronunciation or RP, Geordie, Glaswegian. Glaswegian is one of dialect of Scottish English, a variety itself. Less Cockney. Regional dialect ini yang paling biasa dan bisa dikenali. Biasanya muncul di saat ketika seseorang hidup bersama dan mulai berkembang karena perbedaan linguistik. Biasanya karena linguistik yang berubah membuat faktor komunikasi di luar dari komunitasnya berubah, seperti perubahan dalam lingkungan di mana mereka tinggal, yang sekarang yang berbeda dari sebelumnya, perkenalan bahasa baru, barang-barang ataupun tradisi. Contoh regional dialek ini mungkin ketika suku yang dari luar Jawa tinggal di Jakarta, dan saat mereka menetap di sana, komunikasi mereka pun berubah, karena bahasa yang biasa digunakan bahasa Indonesia yang standar. Nah, perbedaan kebiasaan yang ada di daerah itu sendiri. Beberapa regional dialek yang terkenal di England itu Western pronunciation, Geordie, Glaswegian, and Cockney. Next, social dialect. A sociolect is a social dialect. This means that language has been influenced by other social factors, not just geographical location. Sociolect develop amongst people who have something in common, such socio-economic status, occupation, gender, or ethnicity. An example of sociolect is how the younger generation often use different vocabulary than older generation. An example is the slang language. Slang language is often paired with abbreviation to minimize the longer word into a shorter sentence. People often use different sociolect and choose how to speak depending on their social situation. And a sociolect berarti adalah sebuah bahasa yang telah dipengaruhi oleh sosial faktor, bukan hanya tempat di mana mereka berasal ataupun tinggal. Sosiolek terkadang berkembang karena seseorang mempunyai sesuatu yang sama, seperti satu kasta, umur, pekerjaan, jenis kelamin, dan suku. Salah satu contoh yang bisa kita ambil terkait sosial dialek ini adalah di mana generasi yang lebih muda memakai bahasa atau kosakata yang berbeda daripada generasi yang lebih tua. Misalnya bahasa gaul. Di Indonesia sendiri bahasa gaul itu biasanya terlihat informal dan tidak baku. Kalau mereka juga mempersingkat kata-kata yang panjang ataupun mengadaptasikannya dari bahasa singkatan dari bahasa Inggris. Dan juga bahasa gaul ini terkadang dipengaruhi oleh tren yang ada di sosial media. Terkadang orang menggunakan sosiolek ini dan menggunakannya tergantung dari situasi sosial yang mereka hadapi. Ethnolect. An ethnolect is a sociolect that has rise due to influence of a shared ethnic group. Typically, ethnolects are influenced by other language these members of ethnic group may speak or be accustomed to. For example, African American vernacular English, EEV, roots are from English. but the variety is heavily influenced by several West African languages. It can be considered a dialect, sociolect, and ethnolect because of the social and ethnic groups that use it. Unacknowledged ini mungkin bisa disebut dengan sociolect juga. Unacknowledged ini muncul karena berbagai pengaruh dari beberapa suku yang biasanya dipengaruhi juga di saat satu anggota dari suku itu berbicara atau sudah terbiasa berbicara yang beda dari bahasa utamanya. Contoh African American Vernacular English ini kata-katanya berasal dari Inggris, tetapi banyak dipengaruhi oleh bahasa Afrika Barat. Ini juga bisa dikategorikan sebagai dialek. Sosiolek dan etnolek karena sosialnya dari suku itu yang selalu berbicara menggunakan bahasa tersebut. Idiolek. An idiolek is much smaller, is the way a person speak, as specific than as distinct from others. This word is mainly used by linguistics when discussing differences in speech from one to another. Like your fingerprint, your idiolect is unique. It's kind of a micro dialect. An idiolect is individual person use of language. Idiolects are unique and can be influenced by many different factors. The way a person talks can depend on the usual factors, such as age, gender, class, occupation, etc. But many other things can also affect their speech, such as the movies they watch, the places they travel to, the people they spend time with, the list goes on. A person's idiolect will forever change and adapt depending on what's happening in their life at the time. Idiolek ini mungkin sangat kecil dan jarang diperhatikan. Namun, ini adalah gaya bicara seseorang yang dari waktu ke waktu mungkin berbeda dari yang lain. Kata ini digunakan oleh beberapa linguistik yang mendiskusikan perbedaan bagaimana orang berbicara dari satu ke yang lainnya. Idiolek itu sangat unik karena ini adalah gaya pribadi orang di saat mereka berbicara. Ya, dan bisa dipengaruhi oleh beberapa faktor yang berbeda. Seperti di saat mereka berbicara di umur yang orang yang berumur berbeda, ya, jenis kelamin yang berbeda, kasta atau pekerjaan. Tetapi banyak hal lain yang bisa mempengaruhi gaya bicaranya. Seperti saat mereka menonton film di bioskop dan tempat di mana mereka berjalan-jalan dan bertemu dengan banyak orang. Dan orang-orang yang di saat mereka menghabiskan waktu, misalnya teman atau kenalan yang bisa mengubah gaya bicara kita dari yang biasa dari ke yang lain. Idiolek ini dari seseorang mungkin akan berubah dan beradaptasi dengan sesuatu yang terjadi dalam hidup mereka. English language dialects. Received pronunciation RP. Received pronunciation RP is the accent you probably have in mind when imagining a posh English speaker. RP is often associated with the middle to upper classes with being well educated. Although this is true to a certain extent, but it's not always the case. As RP is also regional accent in southeast of England. RP is often considered the standard accent for British English and used to teach English verbal. Because of this, RP is one dialect that cannot always be associated with a geographic region. Next, features of RP include use of the semi-vowel G sound. For example, Tuesday's pronunciation with L sound. Tuesday. Usage of long R sounds in which words such as bed and palm. Not dropping G in his sounds. Example, weather, not where. And happy, not happy. It is non-rhotic dialect, meaning our sounds are only pronounced after a consonant. RP or safer pronunciation is also referred to as sequence English or BBC English because that's when you hear it spoken. Geordie. Geordie is the English dialect typically found in Newcastle upon Tyne and surrounding Tyneside areas. The Geordie dialect is continued development of the speech pattern used by Anglican settlers in the north of England from the 5th century. Features of Geordie include it is non-rhotic dialect, meaning R sounds are only pronounced after a consonant. Pronunciation of pronouns U instead of U and more instead of over. Lengthening of vowel sounds like June instead of town. Next, Glaswegian is the dialect Scottish English spoken in Glasgow and the surrounding areas. This dialect has roots in English but has been heavily influenced by the Scots, Highland English, and Hiberno English. Features of Glaswegian include it is rhotic dialect. Most R sounds are pronounced. Use of contraction. Example: can, cannot become can. Don't become deny. And isn't become isn't. The long U sounds are shortened to the shorter U. Example: food sounds like food. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you, everyone. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good day.